This is the Network Journal Report. I'm Gary Anthony Ramsey, bringing you business stories that are affecting your world in December of 2010. Our top stories include: the president signed several bills into law, including the controversial extension of the Bush tax cuts and a repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. The FCC creates rules to regulate the American internet. The Comcast-NBC merger gets the blessing of some black advocacy groups. Some economists see signs of a strong recovery as the year begins. Did last-minute shopping save the year for retailers? Our top story: Barack Obama signed several pieces of legislation into law as the lame duck session of the 111th Congress comes to a close. They include the controversial extension of the Bush tax cuts, extension of unemployment benefits to millions of Americans, and the repeal of the controversial military policy known as Don't Ask, Don't Tell. The president signed the measure while surrounded by members of Congress and gay and lesbian members of the U.S. military. The measure ends the Clinton-era policy, which forbid the military from excluding or discharging homosexual servicemen and women, as long as they kept their sexual orientation a secret.
That's why I believe this is the right thing to do for our military. That's why I believe it is the right thing to do, period.
The law will take 60 days to go into effect and will include an extensive review of military procedures to ensure the changes will not affect the readiness and effectiveness of the U.S. military. The president also signed an extension of the controversial Bush tax cuts, which keeps taxes from rising an average of $3,000 per family. As a result of that deal, Republicans agreed to extend unemployment benefits for some 2.5 million people whose benefits ran out on December 1st. Congress also agreed to the START nuclear treaty with Russia. Well, the government also made changes which could affect how you see Our News Now or any other online content provider. In a vote of 3-2, the FCC approved new rules that will now govern the American internet. The new guidelines, referred to as net neutrality, seek to prevent companies with high-speed internet access from blocking or discriminating against competitors.
If you want to access a Facebook application on your cell phone, you should be able to. If you want to do a Google search on your computer at home, you should be able to, and it should not be, the results should not be any slower or faster than, say, Microsoft's Bing.
The new rules are expected to take effect next year, but Republican lawmakers have vowed to block it in Congress when the new session starts in January. The FCC also said it would approve a new mega merger that would create a new super media company. The statement means that the Comcast-NBC Universal deal is one step closer to becoming a reality. After both companies admitted to poor diversity efforts to Congress in the past, they made commitments to the NAACP, the National Urban League, and the National Action Network. Those pledges include promises to boost hiring and representation, as well as a pledge to add 4 cable networks in which African Americans have a majority or substantial ownership interest. Together, the companies have 16.7 million broadband subscribers, about 23 million cable customers, and a vast library of popular shows, including Saturday Night Live. Even with unemployment still hovering at more than 9%, some economists are beginning to see silver linings in the clouds of 2011. With large corporations reporting healthy profits and the Dow Jones Industrial Average reaching a 2-year high, some experts think that there will be opportunities for hiring and lending. The tax cut deal and the business tax benefits plan are seen as incentives for some companies to expand or retool their operations. Retail sales, industrial production, and factory orders are rising, with new unemployment claims falling. But still, more than 15 million Americans do not have jobs. Well, one indicator of economic recovery is consumer confidence as expressed in spending. Well, certainly it means that this holiday season is probably one of the most watched in economic history. Online Christmas sales jumped 15% as buyers clicked through some $36 billion of orders, according to credit card corporation advisor Spending Plus. Apparel was the clear leader, with a sales jump of 26%. Online electronics recorded a significant gain of 12%, while jewelry sales rose 4.5%. In-store shopping on the last full weekend before Christmas jumped 5.5%, according to Shopper Tracker. Americans spent $19 billion on the weekend alone. That's up from $17 billion last year. Despite less jobs and less money, it seems people have no trouble swiping those credit cards, which account for more than 2/3 of the spending this holiday season. For a complete look at business stories that affect your world, subscribe to the Network Journal. You can always feel free to check us out here at tnj.com. And for a complete look at national and international stories, go to ournewsnow.com. That's the Network Journal Report. I'm Gary Anthony Ramsey.